anything. He will take pictures of anything, and he'll write about it, right?
Yes.
I think I once had pig knuckles with you, right? Well, I didn't have them.
Yes, you did. I didn't tell you what they were.
Okay. I had pig knuckles without knowing it. Joe, he also recently wrote a book called 111 Places in Queens That You Must Not Miss. It's a brand. They do that all around, and he did it for Queens. So you can find out about 111 things that you never knew about that are absolutely fantastic that you can do without ever leaving the borough. He also is involved in a lot of food events. He's one of the co-founders of the Queens Diner Club, which gets together every now and then, and they take over an entire restaurant. And the last one I went through, there were about 60 people, and all of them were eating, and the chef was there talking about it. It was a great thing. He also does events through another company called Epicurean Events and Charcuterie Masters. Over at Flushing Town Hall, he's done meat and cheese events. So I don't really have to, he can tell you more about it because he knows himself better than I do. But please welcome the keynote speaker, Joe DiStefano, who I call Joey D.
Hey everybody, it's nice to be here today in one of my favorite neighborhoods in New York City. Rob, thank you so much for that kind introduction. You know, you make me feel more like the emperor of Queens than the king with all those accolades, truly. So guys, when I moved to Queens in the late 1990s, I quickly realized that Flushing was fantastic. Today it's an even more fantastic place to eat, worship, and do business. What started out as a small Dutch community in the 1600s has evolved into a world-class destination that's a leading example of the American experiment. Flushing continues to transform American culture in all manner of ways, culturally, linguistically, and I would posit even philosophically. Like the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s, in which migrants from the Deep South and Caribbean developed new music and literature that redefined New York and the United States, the many people of Flushing are bringing their unique culture, sharing and reshaping, transforming what it means to be American. And you know, I would just point out homegrown Flushing artist turned actress Aquafina, aka Nora Lum, whose parents own what used to be Lum's Restaurant out on Northern Boulevard, which is now Kung Sang, a wonderful Korean restaurant. So if we may, I would like to take a brief moment of silence in honor of Anthony Bourdain, who is a champion of global culture and Queens, who has, I'm sure you all know, passed away around this time last year. All right, thank you very much. So, a few days ago, John Cho and my good friend Costas over here, we commemorated Anthony Bourdain's memory on his birthday, because really he would have wanted us to celebrate the vibrancy of downtown Flushing. So we had an amazing Szechuan meal at one of the oldest food courts in downtown Flushing, the Golden Ball. It was a great meal. Like myself, Bourdain was a champion of food and culture, so it's no surprise he was fascinated with Queens. It's the capital of linguistic diversity, not just for the 5 boroughs of New York City, but for the human species. Bourdain was especially fascinated with Flushing, a global village in the heart of New York City. Flushing, a place where you can hear Cantonese, Shanghainese, Taishanese, Szechuanese, Korean, Mongolian, Spanish, Urdu, and I'm sure I'm missing quite a few other dialects. You can hear all these just walking down Main Street. Back in 2007, when Anthony Bourdain visited Shan Famous Foods, it was just a mom and pop street food stand. Today it boasts more than a dozen locations throughout New York City. It's still one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in downtown Flushing, and it's not the only culinary empire that was launched at Golden Mall. Helen Yu's critically acclaimed restaurant, Dumpling Galaxy, got its start there in 2006. You'll find the Galaxy, which features more than 100 dough-wrapped delights, in this year's passport to Flushing. Another of my favorites, the Ganesh Temple Canteen, is also listed in the passport. Bourdain highlighted it on his television show, No Reservations. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the Ganesh Temple Canteen, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cafeteria that's part of a truly spectacular Hindu house of worship. Consecrated on July 4th, 1977, their birthday is just around the corner. It's just one of many houses of worship in America's most religiously diverse community, which is also home to the historic Quaker Meeting House. Protestants, Catholics, and Jews have been joined by a large populations of Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Muslims, and other religious groups from the Middle East, Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. The streets of the global village that is downtown Flushing are indeed bustling. It's the biggest intermodal transportation hub outside of Manhattan, with more pedestrian traffic than anywhere else outside of Times Square. Although according to my highly scientific observations, at least 15% of those pedestrians are now waiting online for Tiger Sugar, the hot new Taiwanese bubble tea place that just opened up around the corner. My highly scientific observations also indicate that 20% of the pedestrian flow on any given Saturday morning can be found inside Joe's Steam Rice Roll. This rice roll specialist, founded in 2017 by Joe Rong, sells chung fun, a very popular Cantonese breakfast item that's so good that Joe has gone on to open 2 other locations in Manhattan. It's just one of many new food businesses that have opened up in downtown Flushing in the past few years. I'm happy to see that one of my other favorites, the original Flushing Ice Cream Factory, which started out in Manhattan as the original Chinatown Ice Cream Factory, is also in this year's passport to Flushing, although I do wish they wouldn't run out of durian ice cream so often. The Ice Cream Factory is not the only Manhattan restaurant that opened a branch in Flushing either. We're also home to Kanji Village and the ultra-trendy Spot Dessert Bar, which got its start on St. Mark's Place. And since turnabout is fair play, Joe's Steam Rice Roll just opened on the same hip stretch of St. Mark's Place just a few weeks ago. In addition to being a hotbed of culinary culture, Flushing is also one of the top financial centers in the United States, with more than 50 bank branches in 1 square mile of Main and Roosevelt, including our friends at Ridgewood Savings, Hanover, and many more. After 20 years of leading food tours throughout Queens, my Feasting on Flushing tour remains the most popular. It's a really good thing, and I love this neighborhood, guys. One of my favorite things to show folks on food tours is New York Tum Rang Tang. It's not a restaurant. It's a Chinese apothecary. So sometimes we go in there for a quick shot of ginseng tea. I like people to keep their energy up during the tour. Not only does Flushing host many holistic health practitioners, like the Chamber of Commerce's very own Tae-Moon Kim of Regen Acupuncture and Shweta Pharma of Gutsier Living, it's also home to 2 major hospitals and the Charles B. Wang Community Health Clinic. So again, I'm honored and truly humbled to once again participate in this year's Expo and to help continue to dispel the myth that Flushing is some faraway place. You know, the truth, and I'm sure many of us here know it, is that the crown jewel of Queens is just a half an hour away from Grand Central. So grab a passport and explore this truly fantastic global village in the heart of New York. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Joey D. I just noticed that Jack Eichenbaum is here. Do you know there are about 2.3, maybe 2.4, 2.5 million people that live in Queens? We have one official historian, as designated by the borough president. Jack Eichenbaum is the official Queens historian.
I'd like to ask a question of this group.
Oh, okay.
Am I the oldest person in this room born in Flushing in 1943?
He'd like to know if he's the only
Anybody born before me
You
here
might be
in
the only
Flushing?
person born in Flushing, actually.
As I get older, I love asking that question.
So, this guy knows Queens every down to the block. He can tell you the history, the demographics, what stores have been there, and everything like that. He's also leading a tour today and a tour tomorrow, right? Korean Flushing today, Chinese Flushing tomorrow. And as Jack likes to do, both tours end at a restaurant. But hey, that's enough about Jack. Anybody who knows the Greater Flushing Chamber of Commerce probably knows about the Made in Flushing promotion that it is doing with the New York City Department of Small Business Services, like Mr. Trucios who just came by. Well, one of the main engines behind the Made in Flushing program is called 61st Productions, which, what would I describe? A video content and branding and marketing company. Started by two, husband and wife, am I correct? They're married and they work together and they still love each other. Well, we'll leave that for the Q&A session at the end. But Daniel Naladurai and Helena Kincaid, my grandmother's named Helena, are going to talk about 61st Productions, which is their company. They are just one thing that's kind of interesting. They are actually based right now in an incubator at Queens College. There is a small business incubator, which is not related to food, at Queens College, where they run their business out. I have seen they did a fantastic video on Dumpling Galaxy's dumplings, but they have done other things. For example, the Flushing Ice Cream Factory, New Asian Foods, and Rim's Fine Jewelry. So they're going to tell us a little bit about their business, which is a Flushing-based, pro-Flushing, all Flushing, we love Flushing, Flushing business. Daniel and Helena.
Can everybody hear me? So, as Rob said, thank you, Rob, for the introduction. Thanks, John and the Chamber. I'm one of the co-founders of 61st Production, Helena. We're a film and media production company based out of the most diverse planet in the world. And we tell stories from the streets. Stories of immigrants, hustlers, entrepreneurs, and real New Yorkers. The outskirts of a city are often neglected. However, on the peripheral of a city is where you'll find thriving or withering communities of immigrants, hustlers, entrepreneurs, and the working class. And these stories, we think, are the backbone of our communities and our culture. That's why our mission is to make the invisible visible and to highlight stories that exist in Flushing that necessarily are not seen by the general public. We're a full-service film production company that realizes stories from the page all the way to the screen. And we're a small team, and we like being a small team because it keeps us nimble, it keeps us very easy to adapt to certain circumstances, and it allows us to change and adapt. I always like using this quote. This is a filmmaker, Paul Thomas Anderson, when he visited the set of Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Anderson says, Kubrick had a really small crew. I asked him, do you always work with so few people? He gave me a look and said, why? how many people do you need? I felt like such a hot mess. It's a great quote because, you know, in order to, you know, create films or short videos, you don't need a crew of 5 or a crew of 10. Kubrick shot that film with 5 people, and that's considered one of the great films of our, you know, our culture. So that's why we like to keep things small. You can get it done with a small team. And here's a little preview of some of the work that we've done. Our clients range from large clients like Vivendi, all the way down to smaller local businesses. And we love working with small local businesses in the community. It's where we find the most fulfillment. I think that's why clients reach out to us, is from our unique perspective and angle that we take from a local perspective and being involved in the community. And one of the programs that we were working with is with John Cho and the Greater Flushing Chamber of Commerce with Made in Flushing. We and my partner Lena is going to talk a little bit more about Made in Flushing.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to everyone who's here. So I'm going to speak a little bit about the Made in Flushing program. And I want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and SBS. The Made in Flushing program is a marketing program for small businesses here in Flushing. And in coordination with the Chamber, we identified 8 businesses that applied who really could use some on-site, hands-on marketing assistance. So the first, the main goal of the Made in Flushing program is to provide on-site assistance. So this is not, you know, over the phone or email. We go to the businesses in person and speak with the owners and get their perspective of what kind of help they could need to help promote their business. And a lot of these businesses, you know, they don't necessarily have huge marketing budgets. So it's really hard, especially in Flushing, when you're competing with such a, you know, so many huge companies, to really get your business out there. Some of our services range from photography, video, website design, logos, graphics, general marketing consulting, and social media. Our process in the beginning is just to meet with the businesses, do an initial assessment, get, you know, their feedback, what they're looking for, give them our professional opinion, and from there we'll work on their website, photos, things like that. And I'll give you some examples. The first business we worked with, I don't know if any of you guys have been there, it's called New Asian Foods. It's an amazing roti shop. And the owner of this business, her name is Sushma. And from the beginning, she started from ground zero. She had no website, a very outdated logo, no photography of her food, nothing like that. Really started from level 1. And so we came in, we spoke with her, we redesigned her logo, took great photographs of her food, created a website for her. Her website is newasianfoodnyc.com, so everyone check it out and follow her on Instagram. So we worked with her and decided a color scheme and a new logo, and she's very happy with all the changes. And so now when people come to Flushing and hear about New Asian Foods, they have a place to go to, and she, you know, has a website she can get from online. The second business we worked with is Rim's Fine Jewelry. He, On Rim, is a small business, family-owned business in Flushing, and he had a website already, but really needed help with professional photography for his jewelry. And not only we came in and took photos of some of his pieces, but we also provided education and worked with him to teach him how he can continue to take photos on his own. So here are some of the photos that we took. We also created a short marketing video for him to promote 24 karat gold jewelry because that's what he really specializes in. So everyone can check that out on YouTube. Joe's steamed rice roll has been mentioned today already, and if you guys haven't been there, you have to go. It's delicious. But Joe's steamed rice roll was also another business that kind of started from level one, like only had Instagram, no website, didn't really have a logo, but he was in the process of rebranding. So we consulted with him and got his feedback and really decided that he needs photography of his food. There was it was only on Instagram. So we came in, we set up, we talked about color scheme and really worked with him in creating a menu visually. So here are some photographs. And of course, all the photographs went on his website, so you can check out his website and see all the work we did there. Okay, the third business, which has also been mentioned today, is Flushing Ice Cream Factory. Christina was new to Flushing, and she already had a website, but really, I don't know if any of you guys have been there, but when you visit it, it's a small stall, and on the second level, there's a place where everyone can go eat, but the walls are bare. So after speaking with her and getting some of her feedback, we decided that a short 30-second commercial really promoting her unique flavors and delicious ice cream is something she can push on her website, on social media, as well as play it upstairs in her location. So I'm going to show this video.
Ready now, I'm coming for it, ain't nothing stop. I got some things I gotta do. Yeah. I'm making a move. Study on, ain't nothing gonna happen on the sun. I'm making a move. Study on the sun. I got joy all through my soul. I'm making a move.
So, that's an example of a 30-second commercial, that's fun, high energy, and that was part of the strategy that we spoke about with her because her product is so unique and so fun. So, choosing the colors, the backgrounds with what ice cream will match with it. So, this is one of her commercials. The next business we worked with, Acousticon of Flushing, Ira Danenberg is here today. He is a second generation hearing aid specialist here in Flushing, located on Main Street. So we worked with Ira and he already had a great website and social media, but one of the concerns in marketing was really promoting like they're a family-owned business and getting to know Ira, because if a client is looking for a hearing aid and comes to their website, this really gives the personal touch. So we worked with him and created a short video as well.
What I'm doing is looking in the ear, make sure there's no wax, no problems in the ear. One of the first patients that I helped when I first started with Acousticon of Flushing came into my office because she was sent here by a friend who noticed that she was isolating herself in her home a lot. So I fitted with hearing aids. As soon as I put them on and we started talking, she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm gonna get my life back." Well, we carry all different sizes and styles of hearing aids. Some go behind the ear, some go in the ear. Some of the hearing aids are really high tech, and they'll interact with smartphones. Some of them even have fall detection. This is what's called a completely in the canal hearing aid. It is very small and discreet, and it's from someone that doesn't want people to see they're wearing a hearing aid. We also want to make sure it fits exactly for them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mold of your ear, so the hearing aid is custom fit exactly for your ear. I'm going to put some material in your ear, let it set. Once it hardens, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to have a copy of your ear so they can make the hearing aid. We work with the person. We have to make sure they know how to put it on, how to take care of it, and then we do periodic maintenance on the hearing aid. It needs cleanings, and these are all things that you can't get online or in the mail. We're here to take care of our patients. Any problems you have with the hearing aids, we're going to see you back in a week and follow up with us to make sure you're doing well. And it's not a matter of someone gets fit with a hearing aid, they pay their money, and you rate them out the door. We care about people's hearing. And that's the main thing. If you have a problem with hearing, we're here to take care of you. Being a family business, we see people that we've known for many, many years, and they definitely get that feeling of family. And it's very important when you're trusting something as personal as your hearing to be treated that way.
Also part of the process in this program is really sitting down with the business owners and getting to know their business. So we spent a lot of time talking to Ira and understanding his business. Okay, another business here today is Kent of Kenvic Training. We sat down with Kent and learned about his business, and which is a career advancement training school, also located on Main Street. And he has a great website already, but also could use video marketing. And part of what we discovered in talking to Kent was that connecting and telling the story of a student whose life was changed after participating and going to school at Kenvic Training was a great way to create empathy and connect with potential students. So here's the video we created for Kent of Kenvic Training.
I did a lot of jobs. Like I used to be a jewelry sales, and then I teach some people.